Hello, I'm Peter Blackwood. Welcome back to Icon Diary. I painted an icon of St. Patrick, who of course is commemorated worldwide on the 17th of March, and everyone pretends they're Irish even if they aren't. Peter Welsh wrote a piece for the Uniting Church in Australia's calendar of other commemorations. Now, the music you can hear is an Irish melody called St. Patrick that accompanies a hymn based on St. Patrick's breastplate, played by Andrew Remillard. I used to get into trouble if I did not include this hymn as a contribution as part of a service on Trinity Sunday each year, and woe betide if any verses were omitted, even though it has 7 stanzas. Well, Peter Welsh writes, Patrick, born circa 390, died circa 461, was born in Roman Britain. We know little about his life other than what is revealed in his confession, his letter to the soldiers of Coroticus, and the breastplate of St. Patrick, which may have been written by him. All other knowledge is just legends. Accounts of Patrick's life are so drawn out, his own confession, or overblown, later hagiography, that most of what we know about him can neither be proven nor discredited conclusively. In the field of Celtic history, almost everything we read reflects a political point the author wishes to make. Bede, for example, makes no mention of Patrick. This omission tells us a lot about Bede. He was interested, following the Council of Whitby, in showing how those who had taken the Roman view regarding the date of Easter and the tonsure were in his eyes correct. Those who didn't were clearly wrong. Bede had no place for Patrick. Patrick himself was most likely British in origin, and after being enslaved by an Irish warlord and then escaping to the continent, he returned to Britain before evangelising Ireland. His mission was not to the British. He said his missionary impulse was fuelled by a vision in my dreams of a man who seemed to come from Ireland, a vision like the Apostle Paul's at Troas. Patrick had been sent as a replacement for Palladius, who had died shortly after his arrival in Ireland. Whereas Palladius, whose mission lasted about 1 year, was interested in those who were already Christians, Patrick, it seems, had a missionary zeal to convert the Irish. It is believed that Patrick embarked upon the first significant missionary endeavour in 432. While Patrick does not appear to have represented Rome officially, his time on the continent may have included monastic training. He appears to have studied at a monastery in Gaul. Patrick was ordained a priest and bishop, and this suggests he would at least have been exposed to current thinking and policies from the papacy. He then travelled to Ireland, where over the course of several years he converted thousands of people to Christianity, including several Irish kings. Anglo-Saxon warlords made the process very difficult for Patrick and his converts, however. Coroticus, a king from Western Britain, swept in and did extensive damage in Northern Ireland, killing many Christians or taking them prisoner. Irish monasticism, as implemented by Patrick, continued to grow nonetheless. This monasticism was very similar to that throughout Europe. This form of monasticism was based on a diocesan approach, but within a few years it had become a monastery-based model, with a bishop being head of the monastery. sometime after the death of Patrick, the church in Ireland was reorganised on a thoroughgoing monastic basis. The chief person becomes the abbot, not the bishop. Monasteries were often the only available means of obtaining a useful education. It is worthwhile noting that Patrick denounced slavery during his life, and the practice was discontinued shortly after his death. Well, to mark St. Patrick's Day, one could always sing the hymn attributed to him, found in many hymn books and in Together in Song at 478, "I bind unto myself today the strong name of the Trinity." That's the music that we're listening to now. Or could use this prayer. Let me offer it now. Christ be beside me, Christ be before me, Christ be behind me. King of my heart, Christ be within me, Christ be below me, Christ be above me, never to part. Christ on my right hand, Christ on my left hand, Christ all around me, shield in the strife. Christ in my sleeping, Christ in my sitting, Christ in my rising, light of my life. Christ be in all hearts thinking about me, Christ be in all tongues telling of me, Christ be the vision in eyes that see me, in ears that hear me, Christ ever be.